people coming in. Let's see, who do we got on here? Aisa, you look different. Oh, that's Mickey. I'm sorry. Lisa, who you about to stab? You look like you're pissed off. All right, there's the smile. All right, we're good.
I'm tired. I had 3 hours sleep, and I'm here. So there.
And I always forget that this microphone picks up, and it's like always way over here.
iPad. I didn't know we had a client named iPad. I'm curious who that is.
Beep boop.
Oh, look at that. It changed. Skull's back of her steering wheel looks pretty cool. I wonder what those buttons control.
The waves.
Is that the go fast button? Jane, there's no dead patient on your table. That's a good thing. That'd be a really cool background. You like first get on a call with a business that's dying, and you've got their logo laying on your table, and the shock pads coming out.
That's funny.
Be a good one, actually.
My clock is going off.
Before I go live, like thinking like, all right, I got to be brave for Kim so that way she can see it on video, has allowed me to seriously like get beyond a lot of my jitters and like be a little bit more brave on screen. So I wanted to share that with you and say thank you.
And thank you. I'm glad I can be inspiration for you guys.
We can't all be naturals like Mickey.
No, yeah, right?
We were in a meeting. We were talking, Kim and I, and like just like throwing ideas about one of our marketings. And then she goes to me, she's like, yeah, you and I have really the same coach, right?
Yeah.
And it was funny because we're pulling all of our leads from lead flow the same, like the same criteria, and everything was just the same.
Yeah. Like, look at you guys being all successful.
It might work for me. So it was great.
That's cool. That's cool.
All right.
Ready?
I have a oh, there it goes. Never mind. I had a random blank screen. It had no name, no nothing. Didn't know who it was. We've already been bombed on one meeting today.
Ooh.
It was all good. Roger had his clothes on, so we were safe. Kidding. Itzel and every team member just jumped off because they can't stand to see that now.
Hi.
All right, I'm gonna just give it another minute or two here. I see a couple boxes popping in. There's some people still trying to connect, it looks like. In the meantime, while we wait to kick it off here a couple minutes, who's got something fun to share? Something good that's happened? An aha that you had, a breakthrough, something like that.
Finally got our recruiting video recorded last night. Script finished and recruiting video recorded, and I sent it off to Fiverr this morning. So should have it back in a couple days.
Recruiting video for what?
For our lead generators.
Perfect. So more of a front end video, explaining a little bit about the opportunity.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. I love it. Send it off to Fiverr to get some fun edits done.
Yep.
Good. What's the plan to use it? Where's it going?
It's going up on YouTube, and we'll use it as part of our onboarding process. And we go looking for people to do lead generation through Facebook, and we send them to that to look first and see if it's something they're interested in. Then we put them into a Calendly and set up an appointment and interview them, and then say yay or nay. There are little bots.
So, sounds like a really good page for your website. What do you think, Roger?
I think so. Steven, send it over when you get it done. Actually, we can kind of figure it out where it can go.
Sounds like everything could live on one page, a nice little step-by-step, well-branded, built into your website. Something that looks a whole lot more professional than just click on this YouTube link.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. I love it. Anybody else? What do we got? Who's been doing what?
I got a couple shares. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Nope.
Go
you
ahead,
first.
JP.
No,
Okay.
ladies first.
So I was just gonna say, so one of my RIA group, they've been having these subgroups for different topics. One of them being notes, one of them being tax liens, and another one they have a marketing and technology subgroup. So one of the assignments for that group was to put together like a workflow of the customer journey. So in conjunction with attending these meetings and pretty much getting a better understanding of my avatar and how to pretty much market for my ideal customer, I was able to put together a really, at least in my opinion, a really good workflow that was kind of praised as for, I guess I'll say praised by the group as how clear and constructive it was. So I guess I'll give kudos to this group and then just being involved in other arenas. And then the next assignment is putting together like a lead generation, I guess, outline. And so that immediately brought me to the Octopus. And so I already have what I'm going to do for that particular project or that particular assignment, because I already had the Octopus in my mind, and then it's going to kind of be like outlining it from there. So I guess that's be staying productive, and then the ahas, because I probably, without attending these meetings, I probably wouldn't have thought about the Octopus or the different ways of generating leads. So
no, but way to put in the work, Lorraine, and like put in all the back, the back end work to be able to establish
Jessica!
yourself. Hey.
Yeah.
Well,
So
Lorraine, I guess this means you definitely have to stay on the call because we've got a special treat for you guys. We made it. We when I say we, TRC made a commitment, aka Roger and I tested Excel, and Excel came through. So we have.
And that was the other thing that I wanted to share too. Sorry to cut you off. Is that now? Yeah, I have my blogs live, and so following up on the 6-month calls that we've had, I came up with a bunch of topics that should probably last me for like the next maybe couple of months in terms of blogs that I want to have posted to the site. So yeah,
love it. I love
and then
it.
you see my background.
I was gonna say it. I was waiting.
Came out pretty good.
I love the new background. Is it going to be used for something else?
Huh?
Yes,
it will be used for videos. Yes,
okay,
it will.
I love it. All right, we'll kick it over to JP. You had something?
Yeah. So along the Fiverr, when we got an intro for our our South Jersey Real Estate Investor Network, we just, we spent $15. We got 5 different versions of an intro. Didn't like any of them, and so we're going to go at it again. So I mean, and I think that's the name of the game, right? And that's why like Fiverr is really cool, because now I don't think that we knew what we didn't like, and now we're like, okay, we don't like that, and so now we can go back and say, hey, don't make it look anything like this. And we have a better idea of what we want. So, that's a win for us.
Love it.
Oh, and JP, I also wanted to say thank you for making that post, because one of my goals was, as I'm trying to get more into video, is increase YouTube subscribers. So thank you for posting on Facebook, because I was like, I'm just going to piggyback off of this post and post my link. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, we went from 36 subscribers to 70 in less than 24 hours.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I think we piggybacked that and tripled ours too. It was like 8 to 24.
I had 1 subscriber, and now I think I have close to 20. So yeah, it's been great.
All right. Anybody else?
Well, I was going to say that's with John Paul, that with your ebook thing, that or your Fiverr thing, that's exactly what Maria and I are experiencing with Fiverr. Is we now are learning all the things we don't like and we don't want. And so we're scratching our head. Are we going to keep going back there? Should we just do it ourselves or what? But yeah, I guess you get what you pay for sometimes. So, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
And I don't know where she is. Marie, are you on there? I know you're on here, but she's not.
She is
on
just no
here.
video. She's got her little cartoon family avatar.
I know. But I'm going to say her win. She put in her 3-week notice for her
Just
full-time job.
let her keep talking. She was having a great conversation and nobody could hear her.
I know. I was muted and having a conversation. I'm a mess right now. I just got out of the shower. My hair's wet. I had a long day.
Yeah, but I was sharing your win for you since I couldn't see you. So tell them your win, girl.
What, with Fiverr?
No, it's your job.
Right.
J-O-B.
Oh yeah, I put in my notice at my engineering job.
Yay.
So 3 more weeks and I will no longer be an engineer. I'm very excited.
You're still an engineer.
I was
You're
gonna
just
say,
not
you will always be an engineer. You have something to engineer. It's right here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
And we're
nightmare
working
right
on
there.
that. We
It's not
got
gonna be
scripts
taken
ready.
from
We
you.
got a whole day of videos tomorrow.
I know.
So
You know, I want to say I had an epiphany on Thursday night that I was just like, you know, and I wasn't going to put this pressure on Marie, but I was like, we're not going to get anywhere at the speed we're going right now because we can't meet that often and we have these other things. And it was just like, there's so many people doing what we're doing. And I was like, are we just going to be spinning our wheels? And I'm like, we need to sit down and talk and just have this conversation. Well, she calls me on Friday and says, oh my God, I quit my job. And I was like, oh, that was like my epiphany. Like we have to start doing more together. So it's a huge win for both of us.
I love it.
So I'm super excited.
Congrats on that one, for sure.
thank you.
And it's the right kind of pressure because it now pressurizes us to say we've got to move forward and succeed because now both of our incomes and our stuff is going to rely on that. So I think it's that right push instead of the wrong pull.
Yep. All right, Kim, Lorraine, Mickey, who's going to do the share? Should we make Kim do it?
Kim's gonna do it.
Yes, go ahead, Kim.
Wait, what are we sharing though?
What do you think? I called on the 3 of you. What do you think we need to share?
Well, I guess we do have something to share. We are going to be doing Facebook Live, I guess we haven't sorted out the date yet, but
More than Facebook Live.
It's a podcast. We're launching our
podcast, live
Get out of
stream,
here.
you name it.
the Real Estate View, VUE, found by Lorraine. And we're excited because it's going to be different subjects, but it's just great to hang out together and to be able to
And
discuss.
chronicling our journey, the 3 of us.
Yep.
And talking everything real estate.
Yeah.
Are you guys partners? Or are you just all in the, are any of you guys partners or are you just all in the
No.
same? Okay. I
All
didn't
in
know.
the
if you
same
guys-
industry in 3 totally different cities.
Different areas.
Well, yeah. So Marie and I would love to be guests if at any time ever.
Yeah,
Yes,
no
I
doubt. Me
reached
too.
out.
Absolutely.
JP,
I reached out to
unfortunately,
Marie, but
Oh,
yeah,
it's a ladies only?
it's a ladies
The
only.
ladies only.
Oh, don't get me started.
So actually,
We'll have Jessica. We'll have Jessica.
There you go. That's
Yeah,
probably better anyways.
Woo, thanks, guys.
so anyway, on that topic real quick, because with JP saying that, just kind of threw it out there, it's mainly ladies. Mickey, you can explain this, or Lorraine or Kim if you want to chime in too, but the 3 ladies, they were very clear when we talked. Obviously, you guys heard me mention this last week. I threw it out as just a spaghetti on the wall idea. Immediately after that meeting last week, the conversation started to flow. And it's not just a thought anymore. It's in real life. They're moving forward. We met twice last week to talk about what do they need to do to make it happen. I'm going to be helping them kind of work behind the scenes to get this thing up off the ground and produced. But they were very clear right out of the gate, the very first day that the 4 of us were on a call together, as to who the audience was and who this was for. And you guys have heard Roger and I preach this like crazy. You've got to understand who's your avatar. You've got to understand who's your audience. where your marketing does nothing, right? And they immediately nailed just how clear this audience is. So either Mickey, Lorraine, Kim, whoever wants to kind of explain where you're at right now in this early set of brainstorming, but what the vision is as to who this weekly show is going to be designed for.
I think I could take a shot at it. I think the premise behind our show is that we're all women, obviously, and we're all women of a certain demographic, and we have experience in real estate, whether it be we're just starting out or we're trying to expand. And so I feel that we all felt it was important to make sure that we represent that to a larger audience. I don't think, or at least I shouldn't say I'll speak candidly, we don't think it's very well represented how much women are involved with real estate, especially women of our backgrounds. And so that's the primary premise, or the primary reason behind why we wanted to do this show is basically for more representation, and to share that women can do this and do this on a larger scale. It's not just a male dominated industry. And the other ladies can also chime in, but I think that's basically the idea behind the show.
And
you guys
doing
are
it
going to have to get
together.
Joanne Anderson on there, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yes,
Joanne
yes.
and
Freaking
Dee Dee
powerhouse.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
should try to get
she's
Dee Dee Ruff.
awesome.
Dee Dee
Yep.
Ruffin too. That's a
Awesome.
good name for you.
We've
Who? I'm
got
sorry?
there's definitely a list of people. So Kim, Mickey, is there anything else you want to kind of add to that before we shift gears here?
No, I think Lorraine nailed it.
She did. She did.
Wow,
So I'll,
so freaking
I'll add this
exciting.
piece. It was really cool to watch the three of them. I just threw it out on the call. I said, you know, hey, one thing you should really start to think about is what's the concept? Like, what is the vision for the show? Who's it for? Who's the ideal person that would be tuning into it? And I used Roger and I when we launched the Web Buzz podcast. What's the point of it? It's to just bring all the fun hype and buzz and all the cool things and really everything digital, right? Everything online, on the web, what's going on, good, bad, indifferent, it didn't matter. All those topics are free game. And the three of them started to give their backstory, like how they came to be in the position in real estate and doing what they're doing. And it was funny. I think every single one of you guys have somebody in your past family, grandparents, great grandparent type level, that did something in real estate that opened your eyes to it as young kids. And it just kind of unfolded, and almost the first episode was starting to happen. Just
We did have our first episode without recording
from the
it.
three of them. So I'm excited that they're taking an idea and a concept and they're putting the work in, and it's some work. They've got their tasks that they're working on, but probably in 4 to 5 weeks, the first episode will be airing. They'll be broadcasting live on a certain day of the week and a time. They're going to nail that down.
Yes.
Kim's going to love it because she's going to be live and in the moment. But we will be broadcasting that live, and then very similar to the structure that Roger and I have done with the Web Buzz podcast, it'll also get taken down after the live, brought up into YouTube, stripped out audio. We're going to take the audio out into all the major podcast players and get that syndicated out there as well. So be on the lookout for the Real Estate View. What was it, Mickey?
VUE.
VUE. And there was a explanation of that I'm drawing a mind blank of what that stands for.
The acronym.
Acronym. Thank you. Jesus, I'm a Marine. You'd think I would know acronyms. That's all we used was acronyms. VUE is an acronym for something, and they were brainstorming some ideas of what V, U, and E each stand for that matched with it. It was pretty cool. So we'll leave that part a secret for right now. Until they.
I was just about to share too, but okay, we'll leave it. We'll hold on.
That'll be part of the first episode. So, all right. With that being said, I'm going to shift gears here, and Roger and I have got something for you guys. We promised you. I know the last couple of weeks we've been talking about it a lot. We talked a lot about it on the Web Buzz podcast as well. We promised you guys something that you would get before we put it out there to the mass and the general public as a lead magnet. It's another lead magnet piece that TRC will be using from time to time for things. And I just wanted, before I show it and walk you through the tool that we created, I just want to emphasize again just how impactful and important it is to pay attention to some of the very common things that you're doing in your business on a day-to-day, things that you're talking about to your prospects, to your audience, things that you're having on meetings with people that keep coming up that seem to be common questions, concerns, confusion that you're always answering, because therein lies perfect lead magnets, perfect opportunities to create value for different things. For Roger and I, we get on these calls and we have to always explain how organic lead traffic really works. It's not a singular source, meaning your website can't do it just standing there by itself. It takes other elements plugging into it, which all of a sudden bred this idea of it's like a damn octopus with arms all over the place. We took the idea, the concept, ran with it, built out an explanation. You guys heard all of that. So with that being said, we created a tool. We created something that we could do a ton of things around. And I know some of our team members aren't on the call right now, but in our prior meeting before this call, we've already built out another lead magnet funnel with some trainings. And an element of this is going to be this Octopus tool, which will also probably breed a more detailed video specific to it that Roger and I will probably build out. And it's just another opportunity to bring people in. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the filled out version, which is the TRC version as of right now. Can you guys see the screen? Give me a thumbs up.
I want a t-shirt.
It's funny. I was already thinking, we never did create the first t-shirt, but Excel, I think this could be the back.
That's legit.
Is a blank version
cool.
would be on the black of the TRC shirt.
That's so cool.
So let's kind of walk through this, right? We talked about it last week, the core offer being at the center of it. Well, for TRC, the core offer that we have, we are a digital marketing agency. Everything about digital marketing falls underneath us. So that is our core of it. Now, how do we get the eyeballs? How do we get the traffic? How do we get the prospects? How do we get the you people that are excited, that want these services into our ecosystem? It comes down to our arms. And currently right now, this is live in the moment. I had Excel fill this out based on what we currently have out. It's going to expand and grow, and there's more to come with this. But currently on the SEO side of things, every single week, the team has been researching, doing all of the heavy lifting and producing high quality blog articles that are going out and being put to our sites and pushed out there into the Google bot side of it, the side that Roger manipulates. As I say all the time on the Web Buzz podcast, he single-handedly changes the rankings whenever he wants to. Dang, I gave away this week's intro already. Also,
with Nimitz's help, though.
What's that?
I said with Nimitz's help.
Yeah, I'm gonna
like my right hand man right there.
Start adding that in there. But if you guys ever pay attention to the Web Buzz podcast, within the first minute or two, I always pick on Roger in some way. I give him some crazy introduction. I think last week I told him he's the guy that hacks China and nobody else can. These type of things. So with that, Roger and Nimitz and the team, they're always creating links, backlinks. They're doing a number of different things. Excel helps out a lot on this side as well. So that's a little bit of our SEO strategy. Over on our free resource side, right, which is what we've been talking a lot about these last couple of weeks, your free lead magnets, these pieces. I forget who it was. I think it was Jane. You asked about having multiple. I think it was you and maybe a couple others. Starts with one, get really good at one, and then you can start adding these very quickly. For us, we have stuff like our avatar worksheet, our silo worksheet. Pretty soon you're going to see the Octopus worksheet. We just created a 7-step video series, 7 steps to online lead generation. It's a quick mini course. We have our more advanced masterclass out there that can be on this list, and it's over here right now under lead magnets because it is our primary lead magnet. We have free resources and then these lead magnets. Every week, Roger and I are producing the Web Buzz podcast. It's live on Facebook. That's one suction cup, right? And I'm going to talk about what the lines mean here in a second. And then another version of that is the long term, the later effect. It goes to YouTube and it's forever now, right? It never dies out. It's always out there. If it's optimized the right way on YouTube, we start to ping a new search algorithm and get consistent viewership and searchability and findability out there. This one has been something that over the course, the tail end of 2020, and as we got live into 2021, we've been putting a lot more focus on this email blast, this weekly e-series that goes out. And it's really a two-prong approach. You guys as clients get a certain campaign. We push certain information out to you guys as clients. But then we have a completely different email blast and email system that goes out to non-clients, people that are in our database that are not paid clients of TRC as of yet. There's a different approach because, again, it's a different audience that we're trying to grab a hold of and bring them in. You guys are clients, so it's about continually educating you, teaching you, and bringing more value to you guys to keep you hanging out, caught up in these tentacles of TRC. And to Lorraine's point, keeps giving you new ideas, the ahas, and the capability of going and doing bigger things. Lead magnet, I already talked about that. And then over on the social media side, everything from Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and a number of other approaches, multiple pages, that kind of stuff, right? So more broken out social media campaign piece of it. So the way this sheet helps is from a brainstorming aspect for you guys to start to, and I'll show you the blank version here in a second, but it gives you an idea to name your different arms, name your offers. Some of you have multiple offers depending on your industry. Jordan, you're in the dead center of my screen. For example, you've got your boost credit in 90 days, right? Grow your score 50 plus points in 90 days. That's a core offer of yours. You also have this core offer that you want to start to expand out on manufacturer spend and teaching that. Well, the marketing approach to attract the people for manufacturer spend offer is going to be different than the marketing approach for your 50 points in 90 days, right? So each of these become brainstorming sheets to map out what is the plan? What am I using? What's out there? What are my arms, right? That's these big boxes. The end of each arm, what is the primary piece? The little lines and the bubbles here represent what are those suction cups. Remember, Roger and I talked last week a little bit about the suction cups are the different pieces that we're grabbing a hold of them on. Social media, if I've got them following me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and they're communicating, right? They're engaging. They're messaging me either in the DM section, private message, commenting on posts, whatever the case. The more of those I have, the more suction I have on them, more likely I am to bring them into the core offer. So this is where we get a little more granular. What do we got going on? Maybe your social media is Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. Maybe it's over here under free resources, you just have one primary free resource. Whatever it is, right, you're going to fill that out. So here is the version that you guys are going to get a copy of. And what's going to happen is tomorrow when I post the call replay, I'll pull it up here in a second. When I post the call replay in Kajabi, in the back end in our portal, I'll post in the group that the replay is live, and in that replay, the attachment for this download that you guys are going to be able to access will be in there. It's going to be in two versions. I'm going to put it up in there as a PDF version, and you can print it that way. I'm also going to put it up as a PNG version in case you want to use it for some other things. Maybe you upload it and do something to it yourself to write on it or whatever the case. Okay, so I'm going to give you both PDF and PNG version to do your thing with. So here it is. Let me pull up the blank one. And here you go. That is the blank version that you're going to get a copy of. So we went ahead and put a few more boxes on there, a lot more lines to represent the suction cups for you guys to be able to build out. Obviously, the example I just used, Jordan, you're going to have two for sure. Maybe it's even three, depending what your offers are. Some of you guys have more than one offer out there. For example, Jane, you're another one. You've got more than one type of offer. You can have more than one octopus. That's okay. But some of you guys have one offer. Cool. One octopus. We can get even more detailed just on that one. So deeper on questions, comments, anything you guys want clarity on this or anything. I don't see the comment box with my current share setup, so just unmute and ask away. Or Roger, is there anything you want to add? I should also throw in there.
No, the only thing I'm gonna add to this is going back to Lorraine's comment at the beginning here in regards to having a visual, right? It's like I think every business that I talk to or work with, including ourselves, sometimes we can't figure out what's broken. Sometimes we don't know what we don't know, right? Because there is no visual, there is no process. And what we've found is creating kind of a system, right? Creating a workflow, which is what Lorraine pretty much talked about here at the beginning. And this octopus here is a starting point for many of us. So if you don't have anything in place, you don't have any kind of workflows or anything, this is going to be a great place to start. For those of you that already have something kind of flowing, then you can use this for independent tasks, right? So in reality, I'm looking at this and the way I've used it on my whiteboards before it became an actual printable resource here is basically have multiple workflows on my whiteboards all the time, trying to see what's going on, because as soon as there's a problem, as soon as there's a bottleneck somewhere, I go through the workflow. And it's funny when you have a meeting with your team and there's a lot of kind of complaints and you're stuck and we really don't know what's happening, and we look at the workflow and we visually see it, we can then identify where the problem is and then start kind of working from there. But if you don't have any visuals like this, it's really hard to identify. So hopefully this workflow kind of helps you guys, get off the ground with a couple of those things, and it helps out at the end of the day.
Anybody, anything? Questions, comments, ideas, thoughts? I'm going to actually de-share so I can see everybody. Nothing. Okay.
I'm excited for this.
Great call tonight. We will talk to you guys next week.
I love
That's
it.
sweet.
I love it. It's very clear. It makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
Who's already got ideas in their head as to what the different arms are? I see Lorraine's hand. Anybody else? Mickey? Jane?
Show.
Yeah, I was working on mine. I started creating mine while we were talking about it last week. So I already have a diagram.
Let's hear it. What do you got so far?
Well, I have social media like you do. I have my website with posts and lead magnet book and bio, my YouTube videos, promotions, online reviews, Google My Business, Manta directories. That's all one arm. Referrals, JVs, networking, text campaign, appointment setting as another one. And then I have something called the Profit Acceleration Software, the videos, the presentations, the speaking and guests on podcasts. And then the last one is, it's also about the Profit Acceleration, what I'm going to offer, masterminds, group coaching, and one-on-ones.
Okay, so there's 3 core offers there, which means you'd want to break this down 3 separate octopuses and really ask yourself, core offer number 1, what marketing do I need to be doing, and what pieces that I have out there fit that offer to bring them in? Same thing with core offer number 2, core offer number 3. Okay.
Okay.
If TRC, we wanted to, we could break this down to 6. Right? We have 6 kind of services that we call them. It's all the core offer of digital marketing and digital agency done for you services, right? But we could go really granular and say we've got 6, and certain pieces that we have fit some of those 6. Others, our website growth masterclass, for example, would not fit our core offer of business consulting. So I wouldn't necessarily put that to that octopus. Now, could I create another version of that would fit it? Yes. And this is where these brainstorming like this, breaking it out, will help you identify, all right, this works across these boards, but it doesn't necessarily work it doesn't attract the right food for this particular octopus. That makes sense, Jane?
Yeah.
Awesome. Who else? Lorraine, I saw your hand. What do you got?
So, I mean, it's pretty similar to what I was mentioning last week in terms of, I think the way I'm going to outline it is my arms are going to be very, very granular. So I'm going to have one arm for Facebook. I'm going to have one arm for YouTube, one arm for Instagram, one arm for LinkedIn, website, the view, the real estate view, and then like Zoom networking webinars or speaking engagements. I'm going to have that as a separate arm. And then kind of underneath each one, what's my strategy for how to optimize each of those? So Facebook strategy is going to be different than YouTube's and Instagram's and LinkedIn's and the podcast and the Zoom meetings, and just figuring out what's best in order to increase all of those platforms, but then also try to automate it at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense, because I don't want to be like an octopus and be in 8 different directions at once, but there is still a different strategy for each one. At least I think so. So yeah, so that's kind of where I am. I'm not really on the TRC level where social media is just one arm. I think where I am right now in the business, each one is just going to be different for right now.
Got it. Love it. Anybody else?
I like to comment on your thing about the Zoom. I really like that. I hadn't thought of that as a separate arm itself, because that can be into networking or driving traffic to these other places.
Right. And that's what I've been doing. Like when I'm on a Zoom webinar or a networking event, I'm not only like pitching, like doing your 30-second pitch, but then I've constructed how to put my contact information in the chat. A lot of times you can save the chats, you can go back and kind of reach out to a lot of those people. And I have found that I'm driving people to a particular, I guess, landing page on my site just to kind of drive that activity. So that's certainly another way to reach out, since I'm not going to be in person for a little bit, you know.
Awesome. Anybody else? Anything? Questions, comments? No? Oh, well.
Yes, mine is more of a question. So the way I was picturing it was that each avatar was almost a tentacle on its own, because let's say we take the probate one, and then I have the blogs going for the probates, then I have those blogs going for probate in each one of my locations, that I have the video YouTube that goes with it also. Then I have the social media that targets also those locations and that avatar in those locations.
Should we show them what you mean?
I'm grabbing a hold of it here.
No, I think I'm following too, Mickey. In other words, you would have an octopus for each location, right? Or each avatar in this case, say probate, right? You would have a dedicated octopus framework for that. That way you can kind of put everything that you're doing, the different types of efforts. Is that correct? And that's
I
absolutely
think it makes sense like that.
Yep. So that's absolutely a good way to use it. There's multiple ways to kind of go about it with these workflows, right? With the octopus. So the quick answer is yes, right? But you also don't want to, it depends where you're at in your business too. How granular do you want to be before the data just gets lost, right? So you want to make sure that you're kind of doing it in pieces, but I think you're heading in the right direction. You are going to have multiple octopuses for your avatars eventually. One of the things that I can kind of put out there as you start building this out, that's going to give you kind of a good perspective from an outside view is I push a lot. Then the chart's still, because I'm still training some of my team on it, but behind me, it's the interlinking process, right? So a lot of times you have that octopus, so you can see all your resources that you have for your business. So you have them all on arms. But where it gets really hard, even for us, if we're not documenting on something like that, like an octopus chart, it's really hard to then figure out how we're going to interlink the actual pages. So that's basically one of the things that you guys can use that Octopus for as well, to see, kind of have a good outside view, and make sure that you're interlinking the pages that make sense. Because that's another big SEO push, big SEO strategy that a lot of people don't do. And I hopefully that the Octopus kind of gives you that perspective of how you can interlink everything that's related, and go from there.
Thank you.
Now, the only thing I would suggest is just, it really has to come down to the offer, right? So your service pages, probate, bankruptcy, foreclosure, right? These are all different services in the real estate investor world. Is the offer really different? And if it's not different, then you're not really doing anything different as far as the pieces around it, right? The different arms. However, if your offer is different, maybe there's something that you do specific in the probate scenario. I'm just throwing an example out here. Maybe when you deal with probate people, you handle with all the liquidation of the asset stuff that's left behind, right? They don't need to deal with cleaning out the house whatsoever. You help set up, maybe you have a service piece that's added in there where you help set up that auction end of things, or you've got the relationship with an auctioneer in there. The service offering is going to be slightly different if you're doing something like that than if you're just helping somebody who's trying to move out of town because they got a job offer and they're transferring to a different area or something like that, right? Really put that thought into the core offer. Is it drastically different to where the marketing message needs to be different? I'll give you an example. I was on a call today with a brokerage. They are the home of the 1% listing. So their core offer for listing is, and they only do this in certain areas where they'll do this 1% listing piece. It's a certain price range. It's a certain type of client on it. That core offer is completely different than their core offer that they would work with a normal seller. Same thing with their buyers. The buyers that they attract, that core offer of 1% listing has zero to do with the buyer side of the deal. So they would have 3 different octopuses. The type of marketing that's going to go out to attract that 1% offer is going to be a little bit different. And it's slightly different from the process and the different messaging that we want to do and what has to grab a hold of them and stick them than some of their other typical listing agent type offers, right? So that'd be the only thing I'd throw out to you, Mickey, is just don't go too crazy and feel like you got to do it for every single one of them. Different avatar, yes. Slightly if the offer is different. And again, we go back to the psychographic and what that question on the avatar worksheet, what is their decision-making process, or what makes them make a decision? If that's different, then it could decide whether you've got some different approaches to it. Hopefully that adds just a little bit more juice to the squeeze, I guess we'll call it.
Okay, I'll have some thinking to do.
Awesome. Anybody else? Anything?
Sean, when did you say we'll be able to get that? Tomorrow you will be able to get the copy?
Yep, tomorrow. As soon as tonight's done, the recording gets buffered, whatever Zoom does to it, and then first thing tomorrow, I download it out of Zoom and throw it up into the client portal, and I'll attach the 2 different documents in there to the call replay, and you guys I'll post in the Facebook group that it's live, and you guys can go get it and download them.
Yeah, Marie and I'll have some business to do then tomorrow with it, so it'll be good.
Perfect. Anything else? Okay, somebody threw it out there and Itzel just pinged me on this. We'll have to get some pricing together and then we could start the pre-order process. But look at this.
That's dope.
Oh.
I'll take one.
So,
I'm a hoodie person myself, but yeah, I'll take a t-shirt.
we'll
You got any mediums for Jordan?
Yeah, I need extra medium.
extra medium, huh? We'll have to refine this up a hair. I see a couple of things I want to make some tweaks on, but Itzel just threw this over to me, so we'll get it refined up. I'll show you what the final version is, and then we'll have to create a way for everybody, Roger, that wants a shirt to do a pre-order.
Me and Mickey wear the same
Absolutely.
size, so whatever she gets, just send one my way.
I think so. I think we'll see that in a few days. I think we're about the
Yeah.
same size, Jordan.
I think so.
I didn't see an arm for your merchandise on there.
Well, I guess
Yeah,
we're gonna
what's
have
up
to
with
add
that? That's
another arm.
freebie. That's a freebie. Just send them to us and we'll wear them around. That's free marketing.
It'll probably be
No,
a
you don't like that?
good client price. We'll do that. Jordan, it's always the West Virginia folks that are trying to get one by. I don't know what it is about the state.
I think
He sounds like my son.
$3.99
Just send it to me, Dad.
is a good price.
You what?
Just send it over, bro.
I think free 99 is a good price.
Free
$3.99 is a
it.
great price.
Freeze for me.
No, I think I got you guys like 5 new clients though, so just send them. Send
Yeah,
it
you
out.
said that the other day, and I've seen one submission on the masterclass since you sent that over. So
I'll stay on them. Just wait. Just wait.
okay.
Hold your horses now. We're
Don't worry,
slow
Jordan.
over here.
Hey, Jordan, I'll teach
This
you
is
how
not
to
a big
drive
city, man.
actual clients if you want to. If you want to
Yes.
know, you know.
Perfect.
That's
Yeah.
like
Don't forget your referral arm.
it's like telling all the East Coasters spring's coming soon.
That damn groundhog.
Yeah, God, he sucks this year.
All right. Roger, anything you want to add? Talk about.
No, I guess the last thing is just to thank Jessica and JP here. Maybe we just found our mascot. I know you guys were telling us about your team, meeting that you guys had, and that's what you guys did. I'm looking at my notes, and I just kind of scribbled it down. It's we'll think about that one.
Oh, 100%.
We don't have a mascot. We just have a logo, so maybe we just found our mascot.
100%.
Go ahead, bring her up.
The octopus. That's interesting.
You have to dress up in an octopus costume though, Roger.
I'm gonna have to
my first choice.
find one. I'm gonna go find one, put it in a tank right here. But yeah, I'll do a couple dives, see if I can find
Make it Squidward.
Yeah, that was a good one.
All right.
But that's about it. I'm good.
Anybody got questions that they want to ask? Anything? It doesn't matter what it's about. Just questions. If not, we'll wrap her up for the night. A little early, about 10 minutes early.
I got a couple of wins if we're gonna end it short. I got a